Hello everyone, I'm Bill Connors with Aphasia Toolbox, and this is our video for the September newsletter. We'll be using our WebEx Aphasia Toolbox platform, which is what we use when we do our telepractice. Today our topic will be exploiting neuroplasticity in aphasia, rehabilitation, and treatment. And quite a topic it is. Researchers are beginning to pay more and more attention to neuroplasticity, something that skilled clinicians have been exploiting for many, many years. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability and the whole central nervous system to change and adapt in response to environmental cues, experience, stroke, brain injury. So, one of the things that we want to do then is talk today about 12 specific philosophical tenets that a speech therapist can use in treatment and that a practice coach can use to help that person recovering from aphasia. Next month, we'll be looking at specific examples of treatment and practice activities, drills, and other ways that we can take advantage of the brain's powerful ability to heal and reconnect. Before we get started, what we want to do always is prime the client, or if you're a person recovering from aphasia, get yourself warmed up, get prepared. So our first philosophical tenet is the neuroplastic feedback loop. And what we want here is that the client knows and thinks from their own brain, their own mind, what it is they need to do. They need to mentally plan that, and while they're doing it, here's the important part. They need to really pay attention to it, really process it, hear it, feel it. That way they will remember it. And if you follow the feedback loop back up, that means they're going to know it the next time. So, know it, think it, plan it, do it, process it, and then you will remember it. An important element here then is that the person with aphasia, recovering from aphasia, overcomes learned helplessness, learned non-use, which we've heard a lot about, learned inattention, bad habits, and any mental and physical struggle. We need to reduce that stress of aphasia, and we do that by finding out what's normal in terms of letting words flow and letting things happen and sounds getting assembled into syllables, and that will overcome many of these problems. Number 2, keep the activity simple, understandable, but yet it's part of a robust treatment program. So just doing a worksheet or just doing an app is not going to make take any kind of real advantage of that powerful neuroplasticity. They are good things to use, but they need to be part of a smart program. For example, we talk here about auditory comprehension deficit and aphasia. That's an oversimplification. When you look at all of the variables, the factors that may be involved in a person understanding another person, we know we need to do more and understand more. Number 3, address the cognitive underpinnings for speech and language. We now, again, are beginning to realize how important it is. If you fix verbal working memory, the aphasia gets better. If the person needs to learn where to put their attention. Cognitive flexibility is very important. As so many people with aphasia will tend to get locked in to a certain way of thinking. Instead, we need to be very creative there. So we're going to add a few references for speech therapists who might want to look this up. Next month, we'll be looking at the verbal working memory and attention training program, part of our work in this area. Number 4, have your client work from his or her own memory propositionally, their own thoughts, their own memory. That means that what really happens in communication is we get a thought, we decide if we want to share it, we get an intent, we select our words, and get them into a rhythm and a melody based on our intent. So why have so many treatment activities and programs seem to fail to generalize the conversation? Well, an overuse of imitation, external cueing, and so on. We need self-directed, creative clients. Number 5, sometimes you blink it, and sometimes you think it. So that there are times when we want to stop and pay attention and be careful. But remember, conversation and thinking is a flowing, rhythmic activity. So an overdependence on external cueing, on worrying about being right or wrong, is going to hold back exploiting neuroplasticity. We need to facilitate faith in rhythm because that's what thinking and speech is. So we'll be looking at the conjugation activity next month to facilitate that. And we'll be looking at how these clients have to have faith in themselves, in their program, their coaches, and so on, in their future. Be careful about restraining clients' expressive options. Rose did a nice article about this in 2012. Be careful about over-constraining that client, and especially be careful about excessive use of right-wrong sort of paradigm where the client is worried about being wrong and won't let anything flow. Emphasize interpersonal communication early, interaction. We revolve everything around conversation. We'll be looking at how to use PACE therapy techniques in order to accomplish this next month. Focus on verbs, not nouns. Focus on vowels, not consonants in the beginning of therapy. Research is beginning to pay more and more attention to the importance of nouns and therefore sentences. And you want to work on fluent generative word recall, not just confrontation meaning. Next month we'll be looking at verbing arguments, one of our activities. We'll be looking at how we use some of the other research evidence-based programs to work on semantic cognition. There are some other references for the importance of verbs. We'll be looking at verb network strengthening, a program by Edmonds. And we'll be talking about how we see the evidence that focusing on sentences and verbs, what it does for us. Make every activity truly therapeutic. No busy work. We'll be looking at our increasing syllable program and how we might accomplish that. Turn the person with aphasia into an aggressive person recovering from aphasia. So we know, of course, that there is no such thing as an aphasia plateau. So we've got to give that kind of support to that client to move forward and take responsibility for their program. The client needs to practice with a coach, but also independently. And we can do that now, have our clients work on their own. Make sure that we are using the client's goals and values part of evidence-based practice. Make sure we have a whole person recovery plan for exercise, nutrition. The whole person needs to be involved in order to recover. Be knowledgeable about some of the alternative treatments that are out there. If you have questions about these, feel free to contact us. We have a nice update on this. But we need to be knowledgeable as speech pathologists about what alternatives are there, whether we utilize them or not. And more of the activities here for whole person recovery. Sorry, I went the wrong way. So number 10 will be addressing concomitant problems, such as difficulty utilizing symbols, Asymbolia, difficulty initiating movements, again, adynamic aphasia, ataxic dysarthria. That Asymbolia, we can look at how visual action therapy kinds of activities can help overcome that. Also, be prepared for the person with aphasia who's a younger person, generation Z, Y, and Z. So these are going to be younger people. They're going to be a different kind of customer. They're going to be more demanding of outcomes. We're seeing more young people with strokes. And we need to be using technology. And we need to overcome any mild aphasia so that these people can get back to school, back to work. Finally, take the leap. Commit to and become a neuroplastic speech pathologist. This will take a little bit of a commitment. It might be harder to do in some venues, clinical venues, rather than others, but it's a mental attitude. It's an approach that we take for all of our clients. This means that we're not going to be satisfied with small incremental gains, but that we need to look at a broader person. We need to challenge that person. We constantly use informative assessment without frustrating them. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or you'd like a copy of our PowerPoint, feel free to go to our website, aphasiatoolbox.com, and use the contact page.